Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce to you week 10, which is October the 15th through October the 21st. We're looking at large numbers and possessive adjectives. You're going to want to study pages 81 to 94 in your text, and you're going to want to review pages 58 to 75. At the end of this week, you should be able to discuss your class. You should be able to count up to 1 billion. You should be able to talk about things that belong to you and to other people using possessive adjectives. You should be able to exchange information about your classes and talk about how you and others feel. You should be able to make plans to do something with someone and talk and be able to give simple directions. You should be able to use greeting, nationality, and classroom vocabulary, as well as adjectives, adjective agreement rules, regular present tense verbs and regular present tense conjugation rules to describe with native to near native fluency an important person in your life. And this week's work addresses student learning outcomes 1, 2, and 3. And all of your assignments are due on the 18th. You're going to start this week like any other week by watching your instructor-made videos. You have videos that go over the possessive adjectives, large numbers, snare, and vocabulary. After you've watched the videos, then you are going to want to click on the class participation forum. You click on the thread, hit reply, and post any questions or concerns you have about the material covered in the videos or covered in class. Okay. You also have oral dialogue. Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, probably here maybe, whoops, you did a workshop where you created a script. That workshop would have moved down here as well, where you would critique somebody. So at this point, the workshop, when you're actually doing this week's activities, will be right here above the actual recording that you're supposed to make. Okay, this is still week 10, right? And you'll click on the workshop and you'll find your critique script. Remember that I provide feedback as well, so you'll want to take that feedback that I and your other classmates provided to you and use that script to create your dialogue. And you'll just open up Oral Dialogue 2 and you'll hit the record button and you'll make that video. Okay, and there's going to be a video right here that will explain to you how to make the recording, and then I gave you an alternative way to make it as well. Just make sure that when you have a link, you hit add submission and you paste your link right here. And if you have trouble doing that, reach out to me and I'll try to provide you with more instructions regarding it. Okay. We're also going to take a test, test 4, which is on the second half of chapter 2. We'll take that on the 18th. You have assignments in My Language Labs. You'll go out to My Language Labs. You'll click on the alarm clock. You'll complete these SAM activities and extra practice activities. So if you look out here, you go to your course calendar and you scroll over to October the 18th and you click on that. There you'll see those activities, so you will want to click on each one, pull it up, and complete it. You can do it as many times as you would like before the assignment's due date, but if you're doing it more than 3 times, then you need to reach out to me, okay? Okay, you also have writing assignment 1. You're going to click on the workshop and you're going to use the rubric embedded in the assignment to provide meaningful feedback to one of your classmates. So the workshop you would have done the week before spring break. It's right here right now. It will be moved down here just below writing assignment 1. You'll click on it and you'll see the rubric and you'll go in there and you'll grade your you're basically providing feedback. So you'll use the rubric to give them feedback and then write any suggestions you have for them to make their papers better. And then you have another workshop that is starting for another oral dialogue. This should be the final one that you do. So you'll click on it. Okay, so when you click on the assignment and open it up, it tells you that you're going to describe your class schedule orally in Spanish, as well as the schedule of one other person you know. Include the following information: the classes you take, the classes your friend or acquaintance takes, any classes you have in common, the days, times, and places where your classes meet, a description and opinion of your classes. So you're going to, when you're ready, hit start preparing submission, and you're going to write in Spanish you're going to answer basically all of those questions or hit all of those themes for yourself. and for another person. And then you're going to, when you're done, you'll save the changes. And then next week, you know how these work, it'll get moved to, whoops, where are we? It will get moved to week 11, and in week 11, you'll open it up and you'll be critiquing someone else's oral dialogue script, and then in week 12 you'll actually do the recording. Okay, so like I said, we also have test 4. This is what test 4 looks like. Los gustos. Complete each of the following sentences with a logical verb from the word bank. Use the infinitive verb forms and be sure to use each verb only once. So you're not changing it, it's vocabulary. Pick the verb that would make the most sense to complete the sentence below. Complete the following sentences with one of the verbs from the word bank. Be sure to make the verb agree in person and number with the subject when necessary and use each verb only once. So you're going to take one of these verbs and you're going to complete the sentences with it. And then remember that a verb has two parts. It has a stem and it has an ending. Well, you need your ending so the stem tells you what you're doing, whether you're dancing or you're swimming or you're walking or you're kneading. And then the ending tells you who's doing the swimming, the walking, the studying, the kneading. And so you're going to need to take your ending and change it so that it reflects, it matches who it is that's doing that walking, studying, listening, etc. Okay? Here, you're going to choose the verb that best completes each sentence. So it's already conjugated. You just write in the blanks, either A or B. Here it says, do you know the difference between tener and tener que? Remember, tener is to have and tener que is to have to do, and it's usually followed by an infinitive. So you're going to decide whether you need tener or tener que in each of these blanks. And then you need to change the spelling of your tener. Remember, again, that the stem tells us what we're doing and the ending tells us who's doing it. So you're going to need to change that ending to reflect who it is that has a brother or who has to attend class. And remember that tener is an irregular verb. It's an E to IE stem. It's like an E to IE stem changer, but just remember that its stem is altered everywhere but nosotros and vosotros, okay? Here it says otros verbos. You're going to complete the following sentences with the correct form of the verbs in the word bank. So you're going to take these verbs, you're going to figure out where they would go to best complete the sentences below, and then again, you're going to change the ending to reflect who it is that's doing the attending or the reading, etc. Okay, here is vocabulary again. Un amigo ayuda, an international student from Spain is helping you review for your exam. In Spanish class, he wrote some sentences in Spanish but left out important vocabulary words. Complete each sentence with the correct word from the list. So you read the sentences and fill in the blanks with word from the list. Eduardo Cruz, while waiting to speak to your advisor, you pick up the most recent issue of Vanidades, a Spanish language magazine. You have just enough time to read the following short article. Check your comprehension by indicating whether the statements that follow are cierto or falso if the information is not given, select no se menciona. So you'll read this little paragraph and then you'll decide whether the statements below are true, false, or not mentioned. And that's everything you have to do for week 10.